The day had begun to fade. It was evening now, that golden hour between the noise of the day and the silence of the night, when the world seems to breathe a little slower. The sun was low in the sky, casting long shadows across the ground. Its light was no longer harsh, but soft, painting everything it touched with a warm orange glow. Buildings shimmered like polished copper, and the tops of trees lit up like flames. The wind, which had been still most of the afternoon, had returned gentle and cool, carrying the scents of flowers, earth, and something almost sweet. Down the narrow road that curved through the town, people began to close their shops. The butcher swept his front step. The florist gently sprayed the last of her roses before pulling the awning closed. A soft murmur filled the air, quiet conversations, footsteps on cobblestone, and the occasional laughter of children who still chased each other down the street, their shadows stretching far behind them. At the small town square, the fountain splashed rhythmically, its sound soothing. Pigeons fluttered near the edge, drinking and shaking the water from their feathers. An elderly couple sat on a bench nearby, their hands gently touching, saying little. They didn't need to. They had watched many sunsets together. Nearby, a group of teenagers sat on the low wall by the bakery, eating warm pastries and sipping iced drinks. One strummed a guitar quietly, another hummed along. There was a stillness around them, not from silence, but from peace, the kind that comes when nothing urgent is calling, and time seems to stretch. As I walked through the quiet streets, the sky above slowly shifted colors. The golden tones began to give way to pink, then to deep purple and soft blue. The first stars blinked into view, shy but certain. The moon, still faint, began to rise from behind the hills, its silver face glowing gently. I passed a small house where someone was cooking dinner. The smell of garlic and herbs filled the air, rich and inviting. A window was open, and I could hear soft jazz playing from a radio inside. It mixed with the sound of birds preparing to sleep, their chirps quieter now, more like whispers than songs. In a nearby field, the grass moved like water in the breeze. Fireflies began to appear, blinking lazily, dancing over the earth. Crickets sang their evening song, a sound both constant and calming. Somewhere far away, a dog barked, then silence. Again, by the river, families sat on picnic blankets, watching the sun dip lower behind the hills. Parents pointed out the colors in the sky to their children, who watched with wide eyes. A small boy asked, "Does the sun sleep behind the mountain?" His mother smiled and said, "Something like that." The air had cooled, and many had put on light sweaters or jackets. Still, it was pleasant, the kind of temperature that makes you want to walk just a little longer before going inside. Further along the riverside, I saw a painter with her easel set up, capturing the moment in brushstrokes. Her canvas was almost complete, a portrait of the sky, the trees, the fading sun. She dabbed her brush in orange, then in red, then paused to study the real sky once more. Closer to the bridge, a young couple leaned on the railing, watching the water below. They didn't speak, just stood there together, hands touching, hearts beating quietly in sync with the rhythm of the river. A street lamp flickered on with a soft buzz, then another, and another. Slowly, the town began to glow with soft amber light. The day was leaving, but the evening had fully arrived, calm, reflective, beautiful in its simplicity. Children were being called inside now. The laughter faded, doors closed gently. A bicycle rolled past, the rider whistling a quiet tune. Somewhere, wind chimes sang as the breeze moved through them. I turned a corner and passed a bookstore. Its windows were filled with soft light, and inside, someone sat in an armchair reading, their face peaceful, lost in another world. Outside the door, a black cat lay curled up, purring, unmoved by passing footsteps. As I walked back toward my own street, I felt a deep calm settle in me, the kind that doesn't come often, and never lasts long enough. Evening, I realized, has its own magic. It doesn't demand your attention like the morning rush or the midday heat. Instead, it invites you softly, quietly to slow down, to breathe, to notice the small wonders around you. It invites you to remember that in a world full of noise, there is beauty in stillness. And on that particular evening, in that quiet town, everything, every sound, every color, every breath felt just right. Total words 1000. Reading time 10-12 minutes. Tone peaceful, warm, reflective. Theme appreciation of nature, stillness, community. Time slowing down. Kalau kamu ingin versi ini dijadikan audio file MP3, PDF, puisi, atau diubah menjadi cerita anak, aku bisa bantu buatkan. Mau dilanjutkan cerita malam hari. Anda bilang tambahkan lanjutkan. Bilang dengan senang hati. Mari kita lanjutkan cerita in evening to remember. Menambahkan suasana yang perlahan berubah menjadi malam tetap dalam bahasa Inggris dan dengan gaya naratif yang hangat dan damai. Ini akan memperpanjang cerita hingga lebih dari 10 minute total durasi baka. An evening to remember continued as I neared the end of the street. I took a detour through the quiet park just beyond the old chapel. The path there was lined with lantern-style streetlights, casting soft pools of yellow light on the ground. The trees swayed gently above me, their branches rustling like a lullaby in the wind. The park was quiet now. The playground, once full of laughter, was still. Only the swings moved gently in the breeze, creaking softly, as if they remembered the laughter from earlier. A small group of teenagers sat on the grass, passing around a speaker that played old soul music. One of them lay on his back, hands behind his head, gazing at the sky. Look at the stars, he said to no one in particular. They're just starting to come out, and he was right. The deep blue of twilight had now fully embraced the sky. The first few stars, delicate and distant, shimmered like tiny beacons. The moon had risen higher, and its light spilled gently across rooftops and treetops, giving everything a soft silver lining. From somewhere behind the trees, the sound of a violin began to rise. Someone, a student perhaps, or an older musician, who played for no one, but the evening itself, was practicing quietly on a back porch. The notes floated through the air, sweet and slow, wrapping around the trees in paths like mist. I stopped to listen. The melody wasn't loud, but it carried far, delicate and full of emotion. In the distance, church bells chimed 7 times. Their soft echo bounced off the stone buildings and faded gently into the open fields beyond. A sense of quiet routine hung in the air. Some people were preparing dinner. Some were already washing dishes. Others, like me, were still outside stretching the evening as long as they could before the night truly began. As I exited the park, I passed an old man walking his dog, a golden retriever with graying fur. We exchanged smiles. He did